Good morning. This is 60 Seconds to Serenity with me, Gregg Hammond. It is Tuesday, November 14th. Happy birthday if you're watching this and it's your birthday. Our friend Celine has a birthday today. And so I'm wishing happy birthday to Celine, but to everybody out there that is having a birthday celebration. This 60 Seconds to Serenity video that I'm doing now is in the guitar space at the Guitar Castle here in Washington, D.C. I've had some Facebook challenges where Facebook wasn't posting visibility for comments on posts from yesterday, and a couple other things weren't working. So I deleted the app and I went through and I closed out everything and deleted the cookies. I went through, the steps that you go through and check privacy settings to see if I accidentally said something. And it resolved a little bit at one point and then went back to doing the same thing. So it was a challenging sort of experience of figuring out this technology. And this morning, as I tried to reload, the live video is not available on my mobile device, which I usually set up in my study space in one of the lower rooms down in the studio of this Guitar Castle. So I'm up on this particular camera and doing the broadcast from here, and only in a couple of minutes because I have to do my reading this morning with my sister. But we have our second episode of the Hammond Happy Hour, Siblings of Success, and that is posted on our YouTube channel. It's also posted up on the Facebook page, and I'll cross-promote it over here. I'll put it up. So I hope that you're able to check that out. And I know that this camera, occasionally, the microphone doesn't work, and I'm not sure what that is. As I figure out technology, it's an amazing thing. It's frustrating a little bit sometimes to realize that I don't know everything about it, but I figure it out, and that's part of the 60 Seconds to Serenity, is to be able to figure out how to deal with a situation, but to stay calm and to stay in a serene place in your mind. And you can do that with your breathing and all the tools that I remind you about each morning when I do this. So hopefully there's some volume here that hopefully everybody can hear. If there's no sound, well, then you won't hear me saying, pardon the no sound, right? Sorry about that. Anyway, I have to hop off and go to do my reading and with my sister, study in the morning. And so I hope that you have a very blessed Tuesday, very happy day. And I will say peace, love, music. And I'll be back tomorrow morning for 60 Seconds to Serenity. And I will also maybe pop on this afternoon if I can work out the technology challenges that I'm having here. And have a great day. I will see you. I'm back with another piece of 60 Seconds to Serenity with me, Gregg Hammond, for Tuesday, November 14th. This is the second time that I've hopped on this morning to do this. I'm broadcasting from the guitar space in the library in the Guitar Castle here in Washington, D.C. And I was looking back at the video that I did earlier, and I'm glad that the sound worked. I realized how to use the microphone that's on this particular laptop. And so I had sound and I had video, which is great. I had to hop off because I had my study time, my study appointment that I had to do. And as I was looking back at the video, checking that, I realized that in this space, there's some interesting things just in the background that I'd like to talk about. And one is the space. You can see all these foam. People have asked me, what are these foam things in the wall? And those are to capture the sound and keep the overall space here quieter. And I have some of them staggered. I'm actually preparing the space for a grand piano coming in, a baby grand that will go right here behind me over here. And as I prepare this space, it looks a little bit unorganized, and that's just part of the process. You have to go through that part of a process as you are preparing for something. And my teacher, Tom Brown Jr., used to teach us and show us how the preparation is the journey as you prepare for something that is the journey. And so I'm preparing for a baby grand piano to come in and be placed right here in this side of the room. And I'm super excited about that. I'm gonna take down I had one of my vision boards. I have several, but I'm taking down the vision board that I had back there of affirmations and things to remind me how to keep my mindset where I want it. And as I add new things and things change, I change things out there. And here in front of me is another whole grand vision board with things that I'm focused on. On that side, I'm going to take that down, and I'm actually going to create a space where I'm putting on a place that I can write with the markers, where I'll have that up on the wall there. And I will be teaching, excuse me, I'll be setting up my camera in here and broadcasting as I teach from the other side there and playing the piano. And I will start to incorporate a little bit of music into these morning 60 Seconds to Serenity videos that I do. And if you've been able to catch some of the 60 Seconds to Serenity videos that I've been broadcasting every morning, you probably noticed that I play the chimes. I add in a little bit of music. I have for here. I'm still here, and I'm back. I have my bowl here that I play for sound and sound meditation, sound healing. I use that, and I have the chimes downstairs, and I have others through the guitar castle here. But I haven't really played any music, and part of it is because of the settings on Facebook. Facebook has they are set up with the top technology, if you want to call it the top technology, for sound recognition. And if you're playing music that is copyrighted, and almost all the music out there is copyrighted, if a record company, record label, or musician has their music loaded up for recognition, as soon as Facebook hears that you have music from somebody that you don't have a license to play, then they will delete your video. And I had a few videos that had music in the background from live events where there was a sound system playing music to pump people up, and Facebook took it off of there, had me take it off, and said, that I was violating a copyright. And so I haven't played much music, or I would start the day with music because that's a very important part of my life, shifted my life. So I'll eventually be playing the guitar, and I'll play some of my own tunes, and I will I will be able to put that up there because it's my music. But I can't play cover tunes that could be detected by the ears of Facebook. And as I went through my technology challenge yesterday, trying to figure out Facebook and why it was doing what it was doing, and deleted everything and then reinstalled everything, and was still having challenges. And then near the end of the day, as I was trying to work through it again, my router and internet went out, and so I was able to use my awareness of all of these things and realize this is a perfect opportunity for me to do something else instead of trying to fix this problem. And use my 60 seconds to serenity tools to keep myself in a calm and serene state of mind, and realize that this is opening up a lot of learning opportunities as far as technology for me to research it, find out information, and work it out. I still don't have the camera on my mobile device. As I reinstalled Facebook, it doesn't have that, so I can't. I wasn't able to set up this morning and broadcast from my usual study space in a lower studio, so I'm up here. Seeing all the books in the last broadcast, and this camera is reversed so that you can read Dweezil Zappa, and you can read everything that I'm showing you without it being the mirror image. I have to realize that as I think I'm pointing behind me, to point that way. So all these books over here on the bookshelf have been part of my life and my study, and reading has just been this amazing thing that has taken me to places that I never thought I'd be able to go because of so many great teachers and so many great authors. Here's a book that I haven't talked about before or posted, Kinship with All Life. I recommend you read this. It is a very interesting book. And of course, here's the book that will be coming out soon. I'm going to get some more copies of this from my co-author and publisher, Ken. I'll let you know when I have this available. But reading is an amazing thing, and that's why I have a library here. I also have some bookshelves in the studio downstairs, and I have a bookshelf upstairs. And I have in many places book holders. I have some out of a lot of different materials. I have a really nice book holder made out of bamboo. And I leave it open on books that I feel are important. I leave, on pages that I feel are important in the books, and highlight different things for myself, for me to read, to remind me. Repetition is the key with anything. If you want to develop your muscles in your body, repetition. If you want to, for example, lifting weights, repetition of lifting weights to build muscle. Repetition of when you're trying to memorize something, repetition of whatever that might be. For playing any instrument, repetition to get better at doing the thing that whatever instrument it is that you're hoping to play or have been working on. And the cool thing is that once you start that process, it becomes easier because you've created a habit of understanding and utilizing the power of the repetition. Reading something over and over, writing something over and over, playing something on the guitar, on the piano, on the saxophone, on the flute, on the drum, playing things over and over and over. Repetition helps you get better at anything. And so I have books open where I can read them. And speaking of the repetition, what I was doing for the 60 seconds to serenity that I have been doing every morning was the non-dominant handwriting, right? And what we wrote out was, I'm going to do it here on this. I didn't bring up the stuff from downstairs because I'm going to set up there. I'll figure that out. I will get through all the technology challenges, and I will have my camera set up and my broadcast set up from downstairs in that studio space where I have all of my notebooks and books and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do it here where I write with my non-dominant hand, which for me is the left, which I've gotten really good at. I've been doing this for a while. I've done the repetition exercise where I've written non-dominant hand, written out complete sentences. But for right now, what I'm having as a suggestion for everybody is to write out your name, first and last name, print it because printing requires a little bit more skill than writing in cursive. Hopefully you know how to do both. right? I know we're in an age where technology is so accessible and used by so many people that it's easy just to type. And actually, now the technology, which is good and bad, is to hit that and then speak into a microphone that then types it for you. But I suggest that you use your non-dominant hand. So I'm putting down my name. I put down today's day. The day today is Tuesday, and it is November 14th. Happy birthday. I realized that one thing I want to do is say happy birthday to everybody who has a birthday each day that I'm doing 60 Seconds to Serenity. I realized I want to do that. I started this morning, and I realized I want to do that every day. I'll see if I can remember the repetition, because every day so many people have a birthday and share it together. So here's what I've written so far. Right, my name, Tuesday, November 14th. Now, just for an extra thing, I'm going to put down that here, where I am, it's 7:42 a.m. And in journaling and writing in a journal, I've always put the time and the date and the day just so I can reflect back, like that was a Tuesday. Oh, that was in the morning or the afternoon. So there it is. It's my name, the day, date, time. And then another thing to add in is what time did the sun come up this morning? Did it come up where you are? It's up here already. 6:59 a.m. sunrise. And then maybe you know around what time the sun goes down. And what I suggest is, depending on how challenging you find this, if you find that this is so challenging and frustrating, then that's plenty to do. If you decide you want to do more, then I recommend that you do the same process. Your name, because we're doing the repetition, right? You're doing your name, the day, the date, the time, and then put what time the sunset happens where you are. It's going to be different for everybody, but it will be fairly consistent. And so you can check that out. The thing that it'll do is it'll help you tap into building awareness for what time the sun comes up and what time the sun goes down where you are. And that's where I'm going to hop off today. That's where I'm going to finish, is right there with sunrise and sunset, noting that, doing non-dominant hand exercise. Hopefully you've had time to do your breathing, or you were doing a little bit of breathing as I'm talking and sharing these things. You can do that breath. And as one of my teachers back before the turn of the century, in the late 1900s, or it might have been 98, 99, my teacher was sharing about breathing in and out and calling that the breath to surrender. And I like to call it your serenity breath, your breath to serenity, meaning that surrender is one process, and then serenity is a mindset and a skill. You can look at it in many different ways, but serenity is what you're carrying with you. Surrender is a process of surrendering. At the time, yesterday, when I was having trouble with technology, I had to surrender over and over. That kept happening, and it was maintaining my serenity. And so, I realized I got more to say, and I have time because I've already done my reading for this morning. So the Reverend Michael Beckwith says, harvest the good. And so I had to harvest the good to maintain and keep that serenity going, right, as I'm doing my breath. But new challenges, the next thing that I tried that didn't work, and other things were happening around in my environment here as I'm having some work done here, replacing an entire bathroom tile, and that construction and the dust and the chemical smells, and as we keep the place enclosed so that doesn't go through there. A lot of challenges. We're going to be keeping a serene mind and making sure that the guys that are working don't feel pressured, and they know they are creating an enormous inconvenience right now as they run into trouble and troubleshoot through it to make the project its best. I am showing them that even though it is causing, what might be perceived as discomfort or a lot of inconvenience, I'm good with that. It's the mindset that I learned through the wilderness survival tracking classes. That was where, in those situations, your serenity and your mindset and your attitude save your life. And so that's one way to start to experience and learn it. But it's so important because that mindset has to be part of what you have in your daily life to be able to deal with the situations and survive through those, right? In a way that you're constantly in a good vibration, a high vibration. And the Reverend Michael Beckwith says, harvest the good. So I was harvesting the good and thinking about, wow, it might be taking a little bit of time, extra time. So by about 5 extra days of the inconvenience, but it's going to be amazing when they finish all of this work. And it's providing work for people who are trying to feed their family as they come in and are trying to figure out the details on this. And it's giving me the opportunity to come out of a comfort zone where I'm used to working in a certain amount of space, used to using certain rooms and having a certain routine. It's shifted all that for me. So that provides an opportunity for me to look at and see the routines. Like, oh, I'm very used to doing these 4 things at this time of the day and or in certain order, and having to shift those totally changes my perspective on how I interact with my environment and my day. And that's a beautiful thing to do, the self-tracking. So that's where I'm going to finish, is just saying that harvest the good, and as much of the situations as you can. Harvest throughout your day, harvest the good. And if you're having trouble, remember your 60 seconds to serenity is starting with your breath, your serenity breath, breathing in and out, the way that waves come in on a nice sandy beach. I can see that beach. I can see the beach in my mind, and I can see the waves. Have a fantastic day, super blessed day, and I will be back on and see you tomorrow, probably from the other studio space.